uplifting, that are not overly ponderous, if you will. So we could talk about the wines if that's interesting, or not. I think I'd rather, if you have any questions about any of the wines, I'm happy to answer those. But I really want to talk to you about my project in San Juan Bautista, because that's what's really interesting to me.
San Juan Bautista?
San Juan Bautista.
Okay.
We have a friend who lives there.
That's a Caribbean island?
It's in San Benito County. It's not in California. There's a very famous mission there. The mission was featured in the Hitchcock movie Vertigo. And wild chickens run around the town. Nobody knows where they came from, but they're there. Anyways, so what I want to do there is produce really interesting wines of place. And I will either succeed or fail or somewhere in between, most likely. But one of the things I've come up with, and it's either a really good idea or a really bad idea, and nobody knows, we don't know until it happens, is to approach the idea of terroir in a different fashion. Everyone imagines, well, I've got this interesting piece of property, I'm going to grow your variety here. Cabernet, Merlot, Chardonnay, Syrah. The problem, of course, is that in the new world, we will never be as congruent as the old world, because we haven't had the opportunity to iterate and adjust and calibrate and really create a seamless congruency of the variety, the rootstock and trellising and the conduct of the vine to the site itself. So we'll never get it right. So our Syrahs will never be as seamless as a Hermitage. Our Nebbiolos will never be as profound as a Barolo. Pinot Noirs, don't get me started. And on and on and on and on and on. So in other words, the net of it is that if you make a varietal wine, it's going to be at best a faint imitation of something that was great, that's great in the old world. If you're lucky, it'll be a good imitation. Who wants to make an imitation? What's the use of that? Waste of time. So I'm imagining a world beyond varietal wine. What would that look like? So the idea is, instead of making varietal wine, create a wine, just look at it in a completely opposite orthogonal way and say, instead of trying to find the best variety, how can I grow grapes in such a way to express the soil characteristics and the interesting qualities of place? Now, Jean-Michel Dice has done this in Alsace. He's decided, I'm just going to blend all these grapes together, and the qualities of the site will emerge, varietal characteristics will disappear, and these other qualities will emerge. And I'm pretty convinced that if you have a strong terroir, when the soil characteristics come through, the varietal characteristics can disappear and just kind of fade into the woodwork, and these other qualities can emerge, and you have a very interesting wine. So I'm working on effacing varietal characteristics. So what I want to do is plant a bunch of grapes that I think will do well in San Juan, in our vineyard, that have the characteristics to the site, that are appropriate to the site, that are drought tolerant, most significantly, very, very important. Also that ripen at the right time, that have the right acid balance, and have interesting flavor characteristics. And then figure out a couple, 3, 4, 5 varieties that look really interesting, and then begin to cross them with one another and create new varieties. But instead of trying to find the perfect variety, which is going to take probably 50 years or longer, I won't be around for that, grow them all together and create a vineyard of maybe 10,000 distinctive varieties, where each plant is genetically different from each other plant. And the question is, are you going to end up with polyphony, or are you going to end up with cacophony? Is it going to be a symphony, or is it going to be a bunch of second graders? Who knows? So, as we say at Bonneville quite often, what could possibly go wrong? So, well, we shall see. So, anyways, that's the big project, and we're at the very beginning. And as I said, it's either a really good idea or a really bad idea. We don't know yet.
Should be fun.
It will be enormously fun. And I've been reminded not to quit my day job, or at least not discount other potential income streams, because this may or may not. This will be a beautiful thing to leave to the world. It may or may not be a monetizable venture. So we shall see. Where is San Juan? San Juan is in the Mystery County, San Benito County.
Oh.
Nobody knows where San Benito County is, but Calera is located in San Benito. It's about 10 miles west of Hollister.
Okay.
So it's a little more inland than from Hollister.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, our friend used to play tennis with Josh.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Do you like your ciders? Like, are you doing more ciders?
I like the cider. I haven't figured out how to sell the cider very well. So that's a problem.
Fair enough.
My new project that I'm excited about is called Vinegar on Purpose.
Oh.
So I'm really interested in
Cider vinegar?
cider vinegar, fruit vinegar especially.
Wow.
I'll probably be as successful with that as I've been with cider.
Hire Kim as a consultant.
Thank you.
What are some of your general thoughts on making wines place in the New World or in California in specific? I know it's sort of a broad thing, but I'm just sort of curious about
wines
insight.
with place, almost everything that we do in California to grow grapes and make wine defeats the sense of place.
Right.
So, for example, if you use drip irrigation, it's like growing grapes in a flower pot, not growing grapes with place. If you harvest your grapes at 26 bricks, everything tastes like prunes and chocolate. It's not a wine of place.
Right.
So you use 100% new oak, efface the sense of place. So you got to think about growing grapes differently. You want elegance. It's hard to think about growing grapes in a Mediterranean climate that are elegant. You've got to create some complexity. So monocepage, it's very difficult to make a very complex wine from a single varietal grape in a Mediterranean climate. So it's always a blend of different things. Those are my general thoughts.
Do you think anyone is making wines in place in California or in the New World?
Probably so, but the only one that I'm aware of is Ridge Montebello. That's the only wine that, to me, has a real distinctive quality. There's undoubtedly some others, but I don't know what they are. I'm sure they exist. I'm told there's a renaissance in California. That's what I read.
It needs a renaissance.
It needs something. It needs something.